Happy New Year and welcome to our first episode of Week in Geek, where we help you catch up with the happenings in the world of geeky interests for the past bunch of days. Our first story will be the leaks regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake's demo being available on PSN. When the demo will come out exactly is uncertain, but the fact that it will come along is pretty obvious. With their consistent marketing and playable demos, like what they did in a Manila mall recently, them ending strong with the demo being publicly downloadable maybe a month before the official release seems like a pretty obvious play for Square Enix to make. Though, as nonchalantly as I'm treating it right, I'm pretty sure I'll be one of the people who's gonna be all over that demo as soon as it drops. There's also been talk that internet sleuths have been data mining whatever they can, so they can quite possibly reveal models, music, voiceovers, and the like, and that will definitely go on social media, especially for places like Reddit, so those who are wary of spoilers, beware. Again, having a fan base this passionate is hardly a surprise for me, as the announcement of this remake literally brought even professional journalists to tears on a live stream a bunch of years ago. Then again, it's a bit hard to imagine how you can really spoil the game when it's nearly 25 years old. So to keep the unaware up to speed, there's something weebs call a Naruto run, which is pretty much a dip maneuver done in track and field, but used as a constant run pose. And yes, weebs do it for the shits and giggles, but it is cringy to the public eye. Being open about your anime fandom in a mainstream scene has become more and more accepted through the years, probably thanks to more prominent personalities openly proclaiming their admiration for the genre. One of the latest displays comes from Micro Venom Page, an MMA fighter who does his walkout donning full-on Akatsuki cosplay. He not only does the edgy boy jacket but completes the set with the forehead protector and the kunai. The man commits to the bit. And then, as a cherry on top, does no less than the Naruto run to the ring. What really carries this performance is how he knows he's already a cool guy and does all of this without hesitation. Shameless cosplay, do the Naruto run, and kick ass right after because he did win that fight. Is there nothing this man cannot do? I am amused and at the same time terrified at the idea that somebody might don the Akatsuki cosplay to unironically intimidate me. So back in the early 90s, I was one of those kids that was completely in on the Combiner Robot versus Monster of the Week shows. For us in the Philippines, these shows would be Voltron, Combattler V, Daimos, and the crowd favorite Voltus 5. So you can just imagine the range of mixed emotions the fanbase went through when a local TV station announced that they're doing a live-action version of this cornerstone of childhood. That same TV station known for making cheesy and cringy soap operas and that god-awful Shider spin-off that we will not mention the title anymore. I myself was in a way very, very concerned. Though the trailer they showed off for the mecha was fairly impressive, I'll give it that. The robot was recognizable, it animated fairly well for the little time it was on screen, but it's too early to tell anything at the moment. There's a Facebook post shared from the statements of the show's director, and you can just kind of take his word for it for now. It's said to be slated for a 2021 release where most of the animation work will be outsourced to a company that's supervised by Toei and all the live action stuff will be handled by GMA7. They also stated that they're listening closely to the feedback from the fanbase and plan to make the best product possible to please them. Considering that the planned release will be at 2021, there's no official cast yet, and the trailer is pretty much just that. It's pretty tough to make anything that's remotely like a judgment call regarding this show. A lot can change and a lot can still happen. Speaking of CG, Hatsune Miku will be making a presence to Coachella, which I actually had to Google because that's totally not within my spheres. So, Coachella is some sort of big music event that features the more successful people of the music industry, usually on the more western part of the world. So, having Hatsune Miku part of that guest list is a bit of a surprise. Miku's actually made appearances before and tie-ups with the West, most notably with the Letterman show. So I guess it's not too big a surprise that the company in charge of her can have her guest in something as high profile as Coachella. Though I am a bit worried considering that the audience there is probably nowhere near the usual people that the crowd-collaborated superstar appeals to. Miku has been generally an idol for the people, so having her featured in what feels like a hangout for the elite feels a bit out of place. Then again, nothing ventured, nothing gained, so good luck Krypton, good luck Miku. This final piece of news also involves a show being created, which also leaves me with a bit of concern, though not as severe as the one about Voltus 5. The producers behind the Witcher series on Netflix are also working on a new show based on Final Fantasy. According to news, it'll be set on Eorzea, which means it's going to be Final Fantasy XIV, Square Enix's strongest title, and probably the best MMORPG right now. I mean, sure, we can argue about things like Minecraft or Fortnite having a much bigger player base, but when it comes to an online game genre that involves quests, classes, dungeon raids, stories, all of that, nobody can really top FF14 right now, in my opinion. Having watched parts of the Witcher show myself, it can be tricky to tell when the timeline jumps. Dialogue is generally carried by the bard, and sometimes themes feel like they're being forced down my throat. I'm not really that impressed with the end product, as you can probably guess, but I can appreciate how seriously they took themselves on working on this. Though, if there's anything to look forward to, maybe there'll be a banger of a song when it comes out, and that's something we can all appreciate. Like, toss a coin to Square Enix, all gamers are plenty. Something like that, maybe. And that about sums up the week in Geek, and now you're all caught up. In the coming week, the Consumer Electronics Summit in Las Vegas is going to drop, so we may be covering a lot of new tech that's going to be featured there. Could be new software, could be new gadgets, or new ways for you to never escape that 2 a.m. email from your client. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this new segment from us. If you want us to cover a piece of news next week, why not shoot us a DM through Twitter or tag us on Facebook. We also have Instagram and of course our very own site ribbonrooffiles.com, where we cover all sorts of things from games to anime to the live action adaptations. We'll see you again next week.